Hey Mike, we're going to take a look at your week 1 assignment 2 drawing here. Just the first thing, you've done a follow through with the specs well. You have an 800 by 600 72 ppi, which is good. Try to take advantage of the amount of space that you have available to you when you do this size, when you're compositing your images together. Even though it's an 800 by 600, you've got a ton of space on both sides, and so it doesn't really end up being an 800 by 600. Have to depend. A lot of this stuff is dependent on me being able to see a lot of the little details, like the mark making, like the edge quality, like how your stroke is being applied. So the bigger the better within that 800 by 600. You definitely follow through with the specs though. Just try and use the space that you have within that, I think, a little bit more effectively. The material thing, it's difficult for me to give I think definitive feedback on the top two of the technique ones. Because you don't have the right materials. I'm not actually sure what you have. You have some nice kind of tiles down at the bottom. They feel fairly consistent, and there's good edge quality going on. But the top ones, the stroke is very, very thin in both cases, and they don't have the kind of thickness that, let's see, we'll bring up Erica's. The thickness of stroke that, say, Erica's does, where you can obviously see that one line that she's made on the far left is fairly thick, 1/4 of an inch thick maybe, and this is ideally what we're looking for with the blind, because if you have to go in with a blind and just make 50 strokes from left to right, you're not really saving any more time doing that than you are with the side to side. Erica has 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 strokes. It covers up that entire tile of hers. So maybe it's the materials. You just have to make sure that the markers you have, there's kind of one tip at least that is either some of them make a brush tip, so when you press down it kind of spreads out, or a chisel tip, which is what we ideally are looking for. So these, I can't really give you much feedback in terms of like, well, you could cut your edges better, edge quality, consistency in the fill. I think you just need to have the right materials. The one at the bottom though shows a really good amount of consistency. There's also, I think, a nice job here of a difference in value, which is going to come from going from a blind to a side to side. It's much lighter and it's much darker down at the bottom, and this is a really good thing to see. Even though the technique is not quite where it should be here, you're still, I think, trying to do with what you have, and it shows in some other characteristics. Maybe not all of them, but they definitely look good. And I will say that your presentation in all 8 of these is excellent. Your edge quality is great. Your tiles are nicely aligned and drawn out, and you're doing, I think, a good job of trying to keep a very consistent inside with all of these. The colored pencil ones are very good. There's a variety of things going on. There's some nice textural stuff going on. I like the use of the white and the dark and all the in-betweens. The fills underneath them actually feel pretty good also, and I think that hopefully you can get in some of the materials soon, because there's going to be a few assignments where you're going to have to do this sort of thing, and I would hate for you to have to do it on a larger scale. But for what we have in place, I think you're on the right track, and once you get the materials in, I think you'll be even more so.